mandatory 14-day quarantine. And in these trying times, the church finds ways to keep the faith. Day and good evening, everybody. If you're streaming us live or watching us on KUAM TV, we're glad you tuned in on an extraordinary day for our island's history as Governor Leon Guerrero has issued an executive order for, quote, mandatory social isolation going into effect at noon Friday. In a taped announcement late today, she explained that it's meant to promote social distancing and to reduce face-to-face interaction. Here now, some excerpts of the governor's address.
Half a day. For the past few weeks, Guam has been engaged in the global struggle against the COVID-19 virus. On my direction, this government took extraordinary steps to keep Guam safe, and I told you I would take further steps when they were needed. I also sought the advice of experts each of us can trust. Dr. Mike Cruz has been activated as the Guam Army National Guard State Surgeon. He is also the signatory of the 2008 Guam Pandemic Response Plan. Dr. Jolene Uggan, our COVID-19 Medical Director, is a specialist in pulmonology who will help coordinate our EMS response. We have also activated nearly 50 school nurses to assist our efforts. These nurses are helping with airport screenings, public health surveillance, working at our health centers, and answering our hotlines. This social isolation directive will also apply to shopping malls, retail stores, fitness centers, and outlets. But certain essential services will remain uninterrupted. Social distancing is meant to keep all of us healthy, especially the most vulnerable among us. The public must limit their movement and stay home. I know that many of you will have questions. For more information, you can call 475-9473 or 475-4770.
Now, there are certain exceptions to the governor's executive order, and these include healthcare, essential infrastructure, banks and credit unions, grocery stores, pharmacies, gas stations, auto repair shops, garbage collection services, hardware stores, laundromats, and food takeout or delivery services. Once again, the closures we just mentioned will remain in effect starting tomorrow at noon and lasting through March the 30th. Well, the chief executive's announcement comes on the heels of 3 new COVID-19 cases that were confirmed just yesterday. We asked the governor's policy advisor, Carlo Branch, whether that weighed on Governor Leon Guerrero's decision.
I think every time we find out that one more of our brothers and sisters, one more of our neighbors has COVID-19, that affects everyone, not just the governor and lieutenant governor, but everybody on island. And so obviously the governor, by her original executive order, banned gatherings of individuals, 50 people or greater, strongly emphasized the need for social distancing. And I think that this executive order escalates that policy and expands it, but it will allow for our greatest chance at attempting to curb the potential for a sharp increase in cases related to COVID-19.
Now, once more, we do emphasize the new executive order is effective until March the 30th, when the current suspension of non-essential government operations ends. For the time being, both the Democratic majority and the Guam Medical Association had urged the governor to essentially close off the borders and halt all inbound flights. Branch defended her rejection of that call.
Even if that was done, there will be the potential for significant unintended consequences. For instance, the old man who called me, who is at himself a risk for COVID-19, who needs medical equipment ordered and can't get it because this particular carrier will not fly to Guam as a result of what is going on around the world. And so the governor, in attempting to use the power that she does have, ordered this extraordinary step of quarantining those individuals from a country that seems to have been a place where many of our COVID-19 victims have emanated from or traveled through.
Now, the mandatory quarantine protocols apply to all arriving passengers. You can watch the interview with Carlo Branch in its entirety on our Facebook page. Now, the governor made her decision not to request the federal government to stop flights from coming into the territory, and early this morning, flights began arriving with passengers forced to get on buses and transported to designated hotels for a mandatory 14-day quarantine. Sabrina Salas-Matanani now reports on the frustration that ensued.
Former KUAM photographer Dave Sablon was rushing home from Vietnam to take care of his elderly parents on Guam. He had a 4-hour layover in the Philippines and arrived early this morning. According to Sablon, several flights were also arriving, and all passengers had to fill out forms and then loaded onto school buses filled with frustration.
It's the worst possible decision and action they can take, literally the worst one. The stupidest way to waste time and money and resources. If they wanted to do this, they should just shut the airport down and not accepted flights. Why let a bunch of people get on?
I don't know if I'm supposed to be videotaping back here in the tarmac, but we're going to isolation.
Sablon was on Facebook Live streaming, and the frustration kept mounting.
I imagine how unorganized all this is. They just set this up in the last 4 hours.
What time is it now? We've been sitting around for 4 hours in the terminal.
Passengers were shuttled to designated approved quarantine facilities. The Joint Information Center would not disclose where those facilities are, but KUAM has learned at least 2, the Wyndham Garden and Days Inn.
Kind of had a little bit of prior warning from my cello, but I thought it was home quarantine. We had no time to go anywhere to get tested, and even at that, they wouldn't honor it. They're saying that even if you tested negative, they're still going to quarantine you, so what's the point?
The 14-day mandatory quarantine protocols went into effect Wednesday for all passengers arriving from COVID-affected areas. Passengers who have a certificate of negative results within 72 hours of travel are exempt. Unfortunately for Sablon, there was simply no time or notification for him to be tested.
Anyways, I'm all good. This is what got to be done. It's got to be done, but it really sucks.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani.
Now, Dave Sablon was also a guest in our Containing COVID-19 radio program this morning, and he shared with us his experience when he actually got to the quarantine site. You can watch a stream of his recollection of that experience. It's streaming right now on our Facebook page and our YouTube channels. We're at KUAM News. And although the governor has decided not to request for a lockdown of all flights coming into Guam, the president of the aforementioned Guam Medical Association says he will continue pushing the issue. Dr. Tom Shea says although she rejected their request, her decision is something that she will have to live with.
I tried really hard to speak with the governor to convince her for a lockdown. Many of us did. The president of the medical staff did. And, she wasn't listening. I think she believed her way is the best way. So if that's the case, then, I'm sorry to those people who came off the flight that have to be locked in the hotels, because we were trying to avoid that. I think certainly that people will not forget this. This is a life-changing event, what we're going through right now. The leaders that you voted and put in place is key to how they react to what's going on. You have the legislature in agreement. I think they sent a letter. I didn't read the full letter, but I think they sent a letter recommending that we have a lockdown.
Right.
So and they're mostly Democrats, I assume.
Yes.
But I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't know what the election, 2-3 years from down the road is going to play out. But this is a life-changing event. People will remember the decisions being made today will carry with them for the rest of their lives.
Now, in a similar voice, Guam's congressional delegate Michael Sinicolas just today also requested the governor request a ban of non-essential travel into Guam. Also, answering the Guam Memorial Hospital's call for help, the American Medical Center's Manila and Tumon clinics are now serving as satellite urgent care facilities to take in patients. Physician Dr. Juan Nguyen says this does not mean that they are ceasing their services.
Both the Manila and Tumon will be open to outpatient as usual, except that we will function as an urgent care walk-in to accommodate all the patients in Guam that usually go to GMH for, especially at this time, for concern about the virus, that they have cough and cold, and that's how we going to try to absorb the patient with GMH.
That interview, of course, again on our Containing COVID-19 radio program this morning, during which he added the governor did not take over their clinics, despite her telling the GMA she had the authority to take control when she declares an emergency.
We volunteer for this past, guys, she didn't take over. We volunteer our service because we think that it's a time like this that we need to step up, okay? What we do, it does impact our bottom line on a business. So we turn all the business expense, what we do, over to GovGuam, and whatever they want to do with that is up to them. But, at a certain time, we have to sacrifice something. Everyone in Guam here, people lose jobs, the hotel, everything that impacts. We have our bottom line, and we're going to sacrifice some and take some risk to try to help the situation. And again, the governor did not take over. We do this as a volunteer service to help the community.
Dr. Nguyen stresses that they are still open to their patients and they have full access to the clinic. The only change is their appointments will be moved toward the end of the month, but their staff will work diligently to ensure patients have their medical supplies and medication. Well, we do now have important news if you have family members under care at Guam Regional Medical City in Dedido. Effective at 9 p.m. tonight, visitation hours will be suspended as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic emergency. Now, the suspension is a result of the governor's order for mandatory social isolation that we told you at the top of the show. Overnight watchers may stay tonight, however. Effective tomorrow morning at 9, visitation for overnight watchers will be suspended. Exceptions will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis for patients who are critically ill or on comfort care. The suspension of visitation hours will affect all departments. The only other exception will be for children brought to the ER who may be accompanied by a single parent or legal guardian. GovGuam payday should go off without a hitch, but you may want to check with your bank to see if direct deposits or account access will be affected by recent announcements about financial institutions' hour reductions. Administration Director Ed Byrne tells KUAM News that his staff has been working to get GovGuam employees paid on time in the midst of a 2-week-long coronavirus-induced government shutdown. Byrne did say his department will be sending direct deposit paychecks out to banks as they normally would. He also said paper checks will be given to GovGuam agencies, and those departments will then tell their employees how and when they may pick those paychecks up. GovGuam payday is tomorrow. To the federal government now, Andersen Air Force Base is serious about restrictions it imposed because of the COVID-19 virus, and one Guam National Guard member has the ticket to prove it. A guardsman recently back from deployment was given a ticket for filling gas containers up at the airbase in Jigo. The guard member paid for the gas, but it does appear, according to Andersen, that the guard member violated new rules put in place at the base. Andersen AFB spokesperson Staff Sergeant Divine Cox tells KUAM News, and I quote, "Per our base restriction policy due to COVID-19, National Guard members on Title 10 orders are allowed." In a crisis, as Archbishop Michael Burns says the church is doing what it can to spread the gospel while helping to avoid the spread of coronavirus. Chris Barnett has our next report.
Lord God, we look to you in these strange times. Give us wisdom, Lord, to navigate the difficulties of a church that cannot gather together. Whet our appetite, Lord, for you and for the love of your Son. Protect those who are vulnerable. Answer their prayers. And strengthen us all to recognize in Jesus our best friend, our protector, our Redeemer, our Lord and our Savior. And in Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Archbishop Michael Burns leading the island in prayer this morning on our KUAM News Containing COVID-19 morning show. Burns saying the Catholic Church's flock of faithful aren't the only ones feeling isolated.
Our priests are kind of lonely right now, too, They're used to having people around them so much.
Burns pointed to live stream masses done in partnership with KUAM as one of the ways the faithful can fill the void left by a suspension of masses caused by the governor's social distancing order prohibiting gatherings of 50 people or more. Sunday masses streamed live on our KUAM News Facebook page and shown on KUAM TV8 and TV11. KUAM is also working with Burns and Monsignor James Beneventi to bring Holy Week masses to TV and social media. Meanwhile, the Archbishop said the church is still conducting funerals, but with respect to the governor's order on crowds.
To do the funerals, but to limit the number to, the 50, that we're trying to stay in line with the government. And the idea of 50 people I know that's almost impossible in Guam. At least I've understood it that way. But yeah, we would continue for people to do the funeral and the burial again with a limited number of people.
Meanwhile, the COVID-19 pandemic has hit very close to home for Archbishop Burns. He tells KUAM he is right now under a self-imposed quarantine because he recently traveled to a COVID-affected area.
I was visiting old friends in Manila, and when I left on Friday, it wasn't an issue.
Right.
By the time I came back Sunday night, it was an issue.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
All right, Chris, thanks so much for that report. Elsewhere tonight, a Central Village mayor has been notified that one of their senior citizen residents is being treated for COVID-19. According to Mayor's Council of Guam President Angel Sablan, she said due to HIPAA protocol, the mayors are unable to receive information on patients. However, this particular village mayor was notified because of an activity at the Senior Citizen Center.
They had a birthday, every once a month we have birthday celebrations in our center. Mm-hmm. And I believe one of the patients that was diagnosed positive was a participant at the particular senior center.
Clarification that, of course, Dedido Mayor Melissa Savaras, who says the rest of that village's senior center member who were in the room during that time are now in isolation. Mayor Savaras was unable to tell KUAM News any specific details or which Central Village was infected, but reminds the public to stay away from crowds. She says, quote, "The only way to flatline this is to isolate ourselves." Well, about 700 of our island's beloved Manumco continue to be served their lunch meals. One of the early directives by Adelup was to close down all senior centers throughout Guam. And according to Mayor's Council of Guam Executive Director Angel Sablan, on Tuesday, they did serve 3 days worth of lunch. They are dry good meals provided by the contracted vendor. The council originally planned to begin serving hot meals tomorrow. However, Sablan told KUAM News this afternoon they are continuing dry good items for the seniors to cook.
Guam is in a very difficult time, and the whole world is a very difficult time. And so, as we know, the seniors are the most vulnerable to this disease. So, providing them this food, even though they're not coming to the center, is the least that we can do. For some of them, this is probably the only meal of the day that they do get or do have.
The 12 senior centers and 3 adult daycare centers have been closed since Tuesday. Sablan adds the food distribution is in collaboration with the Department of Public Health and Social Services. For more information, you can contact the Senior Center Operations. Their number is 477-3454. That's 477-3454. Or the Adult Daycare Center, their number is 788-7155. That is 788-7155. And also tonight, Guam Department of Education's waiver request is pending approval from the U.S. Department of Agriculture for student food service distribution. GDOE has been in close contact with the USDA, and according to Superintendent John Fernandez, the Grab and Go Meals program may not launch until next week, Monday. Fernandez tells KUAM he is not aware of the federal officials having any concerns or questions with the request and believe they just need time to further review. The USDA authorization allows the department to serve meals outside of the public schools and make necessary adjustments to the menu. We've to this date reported that GDOE is planning to have nearly 15 sites for the meal pickup. Well, my friends, please stay tuned, keep watching, and keep streaming because Primetime will continue right after this.
At the mall as you enjoy your shopping, dining, or entertainment. You could also win 3 great cars from Atkins Kroll and thousands of prizes in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game. Present your mall receipts and have a chance to win the renowned performance Chevrolet Camaro, the unapologetic rugged Toyota 4Runner, or the head-turning Lexus ES350 Luxury. Getaways to Manila, courtesy of Philippine Airlines, plus prizes from Foot Locker and Burger King. The more you shop, the more chance to win in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
every day into an extra day. Receive 6% off your fuel purchase when you use your eligible Bank of Guam credit card at participating Shell locations. Terms and conditions apply. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, member FDIC.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
In national headlines, Natalie Brand gives you an overview from the White House, including the emergency relief bill aimed to help those impacted by the coronavirus, which was passed by the House and Senate and signed by President Trump today.
President Trump is calling the coronavirus the silent enemy in a pandemic war.
We're going to defeat the invisible enemy.
Today, he invoked emergency powers that would allow his administration to ask American industry to make medical supplies if necessary. He and Canada's Prime Minister also announced the closing of the northern border to non-essential travel.
The ayes are 90.
On Capitol Hill, the Senate passed an emergency relief bill that includes free coronavirus testing, as well as paid sick days and family leave. Lawmakers are also working on a $1 trillion rescue package. The Trump administration wants money for the airline and hotel industries, help for small businesses, and direct payments for everyday Americans starting next month.
We are moving rapidly because the situation demands it.
GM, Ford, Chrysler, Toyota announced they're suspending production at their North American factories. And as restaurants begin to close their doors, one Phoenix owner is vowing to help.
We're going to use the food here to try to feed our employees' family.
From a Costco in Los Angeles to a food pantry in Houston to schools around the country, people lined up for food and essentials. On Wall Street, trading halted again to stop a free fall, and the New York Stock Exchange announced it will temporarily close the floor and move to fully electronic trading starting Monday.
The president also indicated today the administration is looking into the possibility of a self-swab test and whether that's as effective. Health officials warn the number of cases is about to spike as more tests get processed.
It will be 5 to 6 days worth of tests being run in 24 to 48 hours.
The Navy also says it will deploy 2 hospital ships to make up for a shortage of hospital beds. One will go to hard-hit New York, where officials estimate they have less than half the 110,000 beds they may need. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, the government in local news is not letting Haven Gale French off as he was indicted this week on all the charges. According to Office of the AG spokesperson Carlina Charfus, the prosecution did present evidence to the grand jury this week, and the 17-year-old has been indicted on aggravated assault as a second-degree felony and aggravated assault as a third-degree felony, both with vulnerable victim enhancements and assault as a misdemeanor charge. French was arrested for beating up a student at a bus stop up in Dededo as there were multiple students throwing fists at the victim. However, French was the only one charged as an adult. Last week, French was released from DYA and his case was dismissed without prejudice after the government was unable to bring the case before the grand jury within the required time frame. French is not in custody at this time. Well, from federal court, defense counsel Curtis Vandeveld has motioned for withdrawal from Evan Montville-Cohen's case on the basis that his client cannot pay for attorney services. Montville-Cohen, as you know, was indicted for aggravated identity theft for allegedly using the identity of a man from November the 11th through 19th and using the victim's personal and financial information with which to rent an apartment locally. He made his initial appearance with Vandeveld. However, the attorney told the court it was a limited representation because the defendant did not secure the hiring. Following the court appearance, Montville-Cohen was hospitalized for medical concerns, and since, Vandeveld says in court documents, he spoke with Montville-Cohen on several instances, and the client cannot hire counsel because he has, quote, the inability to access persons or accounts to arrange payment. At a status hearing, Montville-Cohen was denied access to a computer or phone, with Vandeveld also requesting the court appoint the federal public defender. Elsewhere, a 40-year-old Conrad Montano was arrested and charged with child abuse and family violence after a witness accused him of abusing a 6-year-old. Court documents state that a child abuse complaint was made on March the 15th, with the witness alleging she saw Montano along with a woman beat the child multiple times. The victim said the child was very skinny in a very bad condition, noting he had bruises, pinch marks, and blood marks on his face. She said she once saw the child had purple fingers, and the child told her Montano hammered them because he was naughty. Court documents state police officers noted the child appeared underweight with injuries including scratches on his face, multiple bruises on his body, a bump on his head, scars, and a scrape. He appeared before Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan and was released on a $5,000 personal recognizance bond. Montano's next court appearance was set for the 27th. And also back up to Andersen Air Force Base, as that organization's public affairs office says they are aware of the video circulating on social media showing military member Griffin Reed, quote, holding a dog by its leg and throwing it into the jungle. U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Nicholas Crisp informs KUAM News that Reed is an enlisted airman assigned to the Andersen Air Force Base. Crisp says Reed's chain of command is looking into the incident, but did not say if disciplinary action has been taken. He adds, quote, the behavior depicted is not consistent with Air Force standards of conduct and is not representative of the military. The Air Force continues to reinforce the importance of appropriate behavior and expects our members to conduct themselves as good citizens of Guam, both on and off duty, end quote. Well, please stay tuned. Dave Delgado has the night in Island Sports after this.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Gila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
It's a celebration at Cars Plus Guam. During our Jeep celebration event, receive up to $2,000 off on the all-new 2020 Jeep Gladiator, the most capable off-road mid-size pickup truck. Customize your Gladiator the way you want it. Call 477-7807 or visit our website and get pre-approved online at carsplusguam.com today.
As our island continues to band together to protect our families and communities from the effects of COVID-19, we at GCA want to assure you that we are here for you. Should you need to contact us for any reason, you can chat with us online at www.gta.net, connect with us on Facebook, or call us at 644-4482. Families are at the heart of what we do, and we are committed to keep you and yours safe, healthy, and connected. GCA, we start with you.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. Tonight on the show, we'll take a look at this week's Game Changer. Check it out. FD rugby player Jose San Nicolas grew up playing football, soccer, and volleyball. The senior flanker is a four-year varsity player who became a starter his sophomore season.
So in middle school, we were only playing flag, but when I moved up to high school, it was very heavy on the contact, and I liked that more because I was pretty big my freshman year, and so I used my size to my advantage. The one thing I liked about rugby is that you can play offense and defense. There's many different roles on the field, and I kind of like the team aspect of it.
The Friars finished the GRFU ESA Rugby League regular season undefeated. The team led the league in most points scored and played shutdown defense on their way to the championship game.
We're very versatile, so we can score in a number of ways, whether it be physically or through like smart plays that we have. But also our coaching, they draw up a lot of scenarios for us to put ourselves in a position to score.
Jose and the Friars defeated the Simon Sanchez Sharks 20-5 for this year's rugby title. He scored 2 tries in the second half to help seal the deal. Jose was also selected as the league MVP and made the All-Island team.
This one means the most to us because it's our senior year, so we put in a lot of hard work for the first 3 years, but this one's really going to cap it off, and it means the most to us.
San Nicolas is second in command of the FDMS NJROTC Phoenix Company. He's an honor roll student, NHS, parliamentarian, and is a graduate of the Northwest Leadership Academy. Jose is also a member of the U18 Rugby Sevens national team He was the co-captain and starting loose head.
Education is definitely big, as FD students, we're all student athletes, so it's the student before the athlete. So if you can't be at practice because of your grades, then you're letting your team down. So we always make sure that we're good with school first.
Jose gives back to the community by helping with cleanups every year for the village of Sinajana. He participates in the island-wide coastal cleanup and helped with a school supply drive for Price Elementary and San Vicente.
Yeah, you reap a pretty big reward from helping the community, and that's just seeing the smile and the impact that you have on other people. So a lot of the cleanups that we've done, we always see a direct impact generating from that, and that's just a cleaner island. The school supply drive that we had just gave opportunities to less fortunate kids and to give them a better chance at doing well in school.
Whether on the pitch or in the community helping a hand with Veterans Day and Memorial Day ceremonies, Jose San Nicolas is always contributing to a great cause, and that's what makes him a game changer.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
My family is on whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume.
Since we installed the DOCOMO whole home Wi-Fi, what did you guys notice about it?
When you pull up the driveway, it automatically connects. I don't have to get out of my car right away and come upstairs to go on my phone. My favorite thing is that it doesn't buffer when I'm watching YouTube.
My favorite thing is that when Addie calls now, there's no lag. Like before, it used to be where I couldn't see her sometimes and I have to hang up and then call her back, and now I don't have to do that.
You know what's a good thing too is that when you come over to visit, I could give you your own password. I can assign a time limit so that I can say that you can only be on it for 1 hour, so that means you won't get in trouble from your mom.
And then you can go home.
The thing that I love the most is that I can freeze the internet for periods of time so that we can enjoy dinner time like this. Why are you rolling your eyes? So I'll turn it back on after dinner.
Whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Dear people who haven't had a Big Mac, it can feel like the whole world is out there enjoying them without you. You might wonder, is it too late for me? Look who's enjoying that special sauce on their special day. From firemen to crossing guards to, oh, this one's really rubbing it in. But even if you've never had McDonald's most McDonald's burger, today could be the day that changes. Now available in 3 sizes. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
All right, everybody, here's what you've been waiting for tonight's birthday shoutouts.
March 19th is the day. Your happy birthday is the way. So that's what we're going to do as we say happy birthday to Deborah Mesa. Feliz cumpleaños, Deborah. Hope you have a great day, and I hope all your dreams come true from a secret admirer, apparently. Nice. Congratulations, Deborah. Mako Torres also has a birthday wish, and this says, happy sweet 17th birthday, Grandma Mako. Inside joke there. Keone Ketty has birthday number 8, and happy birthday, K1. We love you. Say, Mommy Asnin, Daddy Emmanuel, Sister Arisa, Nino Jesse, and the rest of your family. And happy birthday number 14 to Napu Napati. To my wonderful son, we love you, says your entire family. We hope all of you guys have a happy birthday, and please, everyone, stay safe.
Remember, everybody, we really need some positivity these days, so join the Cold Stone Creamery and make somebody's day. Just go to KUAM.com, click on the birthdays link, and your special person is in the club. My friends, please practice good hygiene. Please be safe out there. Wash your hands for 20 seconds and be kind to each other. We'll see you tomorrow night. Take care.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Visit GESIGuam.com or call 647-8111 for more details on how we can help your business save money.